Fuck around, make my 40 pop. No popcorn, I pop pistols, reaming my body.
Alright, y'all. Today we're going to be reacting to the Sage Mode users versus Mangekyou users. This right here should be interesting. Hopefully, I agree with a lot of stuff that my guy right here got to say. Usually, I don't really agree with a lot, but let's just see, you know. I forgot who actually made this video. Let's just see specifically Anime Scale. Shout out to Anime Scale. It's not anything, or anything I say in this video is not necessarily directed towards you. I know a lot of people believe a little bit of misinformation when it comes to power scaling. So I'm going to be talking about the overall general people, but hopefully I don't disagree with a lot of stuff that I see right here.
The anime scale here, and today we have all Sage Mode users compared to all Mangekyou users.
Yeah, we're going to speed this up a little bit. Solid 1.75. Yep, there you go.
In order to focus on just Sage Mode and Mangekyou Sharingan, and don't be confused with other abilities. Now, with this being said, let's get started. Lacks control over his Sage Mode as his.
Alright, yeah, I'm gonna have Mitsuki lower than Fugaku. The thing about Fugaku is that we don't necessarily know a lot about Fugaku, and because of that, we can't necessarily, you know, put him all the way up there. But here's the thing. Itachi did say that that fighting Fugaku was going to be very difficult, and Fugaku himself didn't necessarily even really try. So I think because of that, I have to say, of course, he's better than Mitsuki. Mitsuki Sage Mode is scaled to like Orochimaru or something like that, and we all know, of course, Orochimaru is nowhere close to Itachi. So if Itachi thinks that it's difficult to fight Fugaku, and he didn't really think it was difficult to fight Orochimaru, obviously it would look something like this. Well, here's the next one. Alright, the next one is Uchiha versus Mitsuki. I will 100% agree with this. Uchiha is a complete different breed. I'm pretty sure you guys don't necessarily 100% know, but Sakura as well is a completely different breed. Adult Sakura is extremely strong, and Uchiha, I wouldn't necessarily say made light work of Sakura, even though Sakura did not necessarily have her Byakugo seal, and that slightly boosts her speed and strength. But Uchiha still, like, did away with Sakura, so that right there pretty much tells me that Uchiha is like completely on a different level. Now this, oh my goodness!
Genjutsu, not to mention his other toad summons like Gamaken and Gamabunta that grant him even greater destructive power. Jiraiya takes this round.
I'm gonna tell you guys right now, Uchiha is creaming Jiraiya, and Jiraiya is one of my favorite characters, and obviously because of that Kashin Koji right now, and Boruto is one of my favorite characters. I respect them so much. Uchiha is washing Jiraiya. Like, it would be an atrocity to the OG Naruto fans, bro. It would look terrible. I'm telling you guys right now, Uchiha would put in work versus Jiraiya. Sage Jiraiya, any Jiraiya, literally. Uchiha is beating Jiraiya. Point blank, period. Jiraiya is not giving Naruto and Sasuke the amount of problems that Uchiha and his clones gave Naruto and Sasuke. Period, point blank. It's just that simple. Now, don't get me wrong. There was multiple clones in that fight, so Uchiha wasn't necessarily fighting alone. But I still believe that, you know, I'm going to have Uchiha over Jiraiya, period. Now, wait a second. Give me a second, please. If Danzo is at 788 and Uchiha is at 776... that makes Danzo stronger than Uchiha. Completely a fallacy. First things first, Danzo bites off of Uchiha, but Danzo has the imperfect, like, Sharingan ability from Uchiha. Now, don't get me wrong, Uchiha's Sharingans aren't real Sharingans, but Danzo still has, like, an incomplete version of the Hashirama cell. Uchiha has, like, the more perfected version. Plus, he actually has Mangekyou Sharingans and not just regular Sharingans. Uchiha is trashing Danzo. So the whole power scale with Uchiha and Danzo is completely off. But if we're actually talking about Jiraiya versus Danzo, I'd have to agree. Jiraiya's Sage Mode would definitely destroy Danzo. So I gotta give it to my mans right there.
Jiraiya trying not to waste too much chakra. Jiraiya is a lot stronger in melee combats, and with Marinpa's support, he would, needless to say, that
Izuna is another one. Like, we don't really know exactly how strong Izuna is. The thing about Izuna is that, you know, in regards to Jiraiya, you can definitely make the case that he's stronger than Jiraiya. Like, that's the crazy part, man, because I wouldn't necessarily say he was relative to Madara, but he was damn near close. Like, he was close enough to be in the same fight and actually rival Tobi Rama. I'd probably say right now that Tobi Ramen might actually be stronger than Jiraiya, and because of that, I might actually put Izuna over Jiraiya. But regardless, I don't have a problem with this. I don't have a problem with this at all. If you want to put Jiraiya over Izuna just because we don't necessarily know much about Izuna, I say 100% go for it. I wouldn't necessarily argue that. But regardless, I do want to say it is a little bit debatable.
Jiraiya versus Sasuke.
Jiraiya versus Sasuke. Mangekyou Sasuke. 100%. Jiraiya is stronger than Mangekyou Sharingan Sasuke. I don't necessarily think that's the debate right there. The thing about Sasuke that could possibly make this very simple is that we have a lot of feats for the Sasuke. We know exactly how strong the Sasuke is, and we know exactly how strong this Jiraiya is. The first thing is first, this Sasuke is not coming close to doing as much damage as Jiraiya did versus Pain, so obviously that right there is going to be extremely simple. Super happy for this actual ranking right here. No problems with this at all. The only problem that I would have with it is that it's this close. And of course, Shin Uchiha is put lower than this version of Sasuke, which I think is an absolute atrocity. But regardless, let's continue on.
I would snap Jiraiya out from Sasuke's Genjutsu, and I feel that Jiraiya's Kakashi is a different story. He can spam elemental jutsus and Kanwi multiple times, and his finesse with Kanwi in the war arc.
We didn't necessarily see exactly how strong he's going to put Kakashi. But I'm going to tell you guys right now. Imperfect Toad Sage Mode Jiraiya is washing Kakashi. Kakashi isn't stronger than Shin Uchiha. I'm just going to put it like that. Very simple. I'm just going to put it like that. Alright. Is he stronger than Danzo? Debatable. Is he stronger than Mangekyou Sharingan Sasuke? Debatable. I'm personally gonna say no, Malin, because Sasuke almost killed Kakashi while he was damn near blind with the Mangekyou Sharingan. So I am going to say no. But I will say him being over Jiraiya is more egregious than him being over a Sasuke or Danzo. Shin Uchiha being lower than Kakashi is the most egregious, by the way. But regardless, let's continue on.
Ridiculous. For instance, he teleported a Rasengan being carried by a moving KCM Naruto.
Hell no. Hell no. Bro. Hell no. Look, I respect my man's anime scale, but I'm going to tell you guys right now. Jiraiya is not beating Kakashi is not beating this Jiraiya, period, point blank. Now, the biggest argument that I could see against this is the fact that Jiraiya had a very big problem against Naruto when he was in his four-tailed state. And Kakashi seemed like during the war arc, specifically, because I do want to specify this, Kakashi at the beginning of Naruto is not the same as Kakashi in the war arc. Kakashi in the war arc is substantially stronger than Kakashi in the beginning of Naruto Shippuden. But the four-tails thing, we do have to take into account that Kakashi was fighting four-tailed beasts, or Jinchurikis, that were significantly weaker than the nine-tails Jinchuriki. The nine-tails, we all know, is the strongest tail beast, which means that their Jinchuriki in the four-tailed state is going to naturally be a lot stronger than the other Jinchuriki. Let's put it like that. But regardless, let's keep going.
Faster than the Kage a few chapters before, and so it's obvious that he'd be able to suck up Jiraiya, or at least one of his limbs, into his dimension. With Kanwi, Kakashi has surpassed Jiraiya.
Alright, this right here is interesting. Again, the Shin Uchiha thing is again egregious. Shin Uchiha is destroying this version of Naruto. All respect to Naruto, but Shin Uchiha is just that good. I don't know. Some of you guys might think I'm overrating Shin Uchiha, but that's just because Shin Uchiha's character wasn't built up correctly. Sakura, adult Sakura, I should point out, is extremely strong, and Shin Uchiha took it to her. Like he could have literally killed her, arguably. Obviously, the Byakugo still would have definitely been a factor, but what he did to Sakura was telling enough. But regardless, that Shin Uchiha is not losing to this Naruto. But regardless, I agree with Naruto over Kakashi 100%. 100%.
In terms of overall strength, Naruto with his perfect Toad Sage Mode and his huge chakra reserves would be able to corner War Arc Kakashi, spanning Shadow Clone, Swatten Shuriken, and Big Ball Rasengan. The chakra gap between Naruto and Kakashi would put Kakashi in trouble, since he'd be able to suck up to 4 to 5 of Naruto's attacks before Shisui over Naruto. Here's the thing. I believe that Itachi reached greater feats than Shisui. And Naruto at this particular point was stronger than Sasuke in Mangekyou Sharingan form. This isn't even counting the Sasuke that actually fought Itachi, because obviously this Naruto is stronger than 3-Tomo Sasuke. Because of that, I may actually go with Naruto in this battle, but again, we just don't necessarily know exactly how strong this Shisui is. And obviously, if Shisui used Kodo and Matsukami, Naruto is donezo. Naruto is donezo. So I'm going to have to say that off rip, but I'm going to have to say this right here is a close one. And my guy, Anime Scale right here, does have this as a close one. So I got to give big shout outs to him, 100%.
Shisui never used his genjutsu, and so I had to take into consideration his humanoid Susanoo.
All right. Mangekyou. All right, 100%. I definitely agree. Again, the only thing that I do not agree with is Shino-Uchiha being weaker than Shisui and Eternal Mangekyou Sharingan Sasuke. Eternal Mangekyou Sharingan Sasuke is not beating adult Sakura. I mean, my bad. But I'm just going to put it like that, period. Point blank, period.
For longer periods of time.
But I agree with this.
Sasuke has always been compared more to KC and Naruto.
Matter of fact, I'm just gonna stop saying Shino-Uchiha, man, because you guys know my stance. You guys know my stance, bro. Until we get to like Madara or something like that, so, Shino-Uchiha shouldn't be down there. But regardless, I agree with this. Itachi is definitely stronger than Mastered Sage Mode Naruto. There shouldn't be any debate right here. Period. Point blank. Kabuto stronger than Itachi. Here's the thing. A lot of people take the Itachi versus Kabuto thing to heart, mainly because it took Itachi and Sasuke to defeat Kabuto. But here's the thing. Itachi was trying to beat Kabuto while not killing Kabuto. So that right there was the very tricky thing. Now, obviously, they got it done, but it took a lot of work to get it done. And because it took a lot of work to get it done, they think that Kabuto is stronger than Itachi. I'm personally going to say that Itachi is stronger than Kabuto, but I will admit that this right here is definitely debatable. I wouldn't blame anybody or wouldn't necessarily slander anybody for putting Kabuto above Itachi, point blank period. So I'm going to say that this right here is definitely okay, but I'm just going to say for me personally, I would definitely put Itachi above Kabuto, period.
As an Edo Tensei zombie. A fight between Sage Kabuto and MS Obito.
This is that? Is this that?
Considering that Kabuto constantly gathers natural.
Oh my goodness. Again, I think that Obito is stronger than Itachi, and because of that, again, I personally think that Itachi would probably beat this version of Kabuto. I'm not saying that he'd wash Kabuto or anything like that, but I think that he'd beat that version of Kabuto, especially because they fought in Kabuto's own arena. They fought in that cave where Kabuto knows every single inch and he had every single advantage. I think just overall, Obito would be stronger than Kabuto. But again, I can't necessarily blame anybody for thinking this, mainly because if you guys are taking that Itachi versus Kabuto fight to heart and you guys are scaling Obito off of Itachi, obviously Kabuto would then seem like he's stronger than Obito. But regardless, I'd say that Obito is stronger than Kabuto.
And Obito can use Kamui as much as he wants thanks to the Hashirama cells embedded into his body. This round balance of chakra and natural energy, which he impressively could achieve in a matter of moments. Such a high level of speed was never shown even by Naruto.
I'm going to tell you guys right now, the Boruto and the Naruto power scale is completely different. So him being this early and me not seeing Madara is concerning, because I think Kashin Koji would definitely beat Madara. Now, it's not necessarily guaranteed that he's going to put Madara over Kashin Koji. I'm just going to say it's concerning.
In this form, Kashin Koji managed to kill Jigen when he was still weakened from his battle with Naruto and Sasuke, and even temporarily hold his own against the fully reincarnated Ishiki. Against Obito, Koji would probably manage to send some of his exploding frogs into Obito's dimension.
Okay, decent, but Madara, I think, is much more, just EMS Madara is much more than this version of Tobi. So I think I'm going to feel a little bit disrespected. Put it like
Render
that.
a useless Kamui or summon the eternally burning natural flame from flaming mountains to corner Obito in just one dimension. As I just said, Kashin Koji managed to kill a weakened Jigen, who was arguably...
I don't feel good about this. Now, I told you guys that Kashin Koji is stronger than Madara. And I'm happy that he has this Kashin Koji over this Madara. But them being this close would probably mean that Rinnegan Madara is over Kashin Koji. Respectfully,
I don't agree with that. Now, Jubi Madara might be a completely different story, mainly because we don't necessarily have much feats on Kashin Koji. But for the series to make sense of Kashin Koji actually killing Jigen, that shouldn't be the case. That shouldn't. But if he does put Jubi Madara over Kashin Koji, I'll accept it. But putting Rinnegan Madara over Kashin Koji, I would not accept that. But for the story, for the video, Mangekyou Sharingan users, I'd accept him being over Kashin. I'd accept this placement right here. Put it like that.
Fresh Mangekyou Sharingan Madara, that is also fearless. In base form, Minato managed to fight with a full chakra QB and defeat Yellow Mask Obito. I know that during the war.
This is a statement. This is a statement. I'm going to go out on a limb and I'm going to say Mangekyou Sharingan Madara is stronger than Minato. I like how they're putting the respect on Minato's name. Because Minato is definitely extremely strong. But I'm just going to say, I have Mangekyou Madara over Minato. All respect to Minato, but this is close. Now, I don't blame him for putting Minato over Madara. That's how close I think it is. But me personally, from my personal scale, I got Madara over Minato.
Stated to be weak with Senjutsu, but guys, I'll argue that Minato was just being humble here since. Right.
Yeah, I'll agree with that. I'll agree with that. My only problem right here is that I think Kashin Koji is stronger than this version of Madara, and putting Minato over Kashin Koji is, I wouldn't necessarily say laughable, but it's a problem. So I'm just gonna put it like that. But regardless, I like this.
Shirama defeated Eternal Mangekyou Madara with a majestic attire Susanoo, so he would.
Alright, I agree with this. I definitely agree with that. I definitely have Hashirama over Madara, obviously because he beat Madara. Having him a full Eternal Mangekyou Sharingan Sasuke above Madara might be a little bit controversial because I think it was a little bit closer than that. But regardless, I'm gonna agree with that. You feel me? I'm gonna agree with that. He has another one. Majestic attire Susanoo Eternal Mangekyou Sharingan. Yeah, alright, there it goes. Because I was saying that a full Eternal Mangekyou Sharingan Sasuke is not, Madara is not, Hashirama is not a full Eternal Mangekyou Sharingan Sasuke stronger than Madara. So this being the actual, difference is a lot more acceptable. But I still believe it's a little bit, I'd say questionable to have, again, Shinichia and Kashin Koji all the way down there. But we're just going to accept that.
Both Indra and Madara have a perfect Susanoo, but Madara has a superior dojutsu, and his limbo technique will be very hard to deal with for Indra since he can't see it, not having either a Rinnegan or a 6-pass chakra. Not to mention that Madara also has great regenerative.
Ooh. This right here is close. This right here is definitely close. Off the rip, we don't have much information about Indra. So Madara being here is definitely interesting. I can't disagree or agree. I'm just going to put it like that. But I'd really, really like to see a hypothetical filler fight between Madara and Indra. That right there would be super lit, bro.
This is anime scale.
All in all, it was a great video. Super happy for my guy Anime Scale. Super happy that his channel is blowing up. Shout out to my guy. If you guys aren't necessarily subscribed to him, I highly recommend you guys subscribe, watch some of his videos. His videos are definitely top tier, even though I might disagree with some of the takes that he does have. The content is definitely there, but it's being boy Baara, and we out.